In the world of cybersecurity, there's infinite opportunities. Meet some of the industry's best on this episode of Cyber Careers Revealed.
My name is Dan Holland, and I am the Deputy Chief Information Security Officer at Tampa General Hospital. It's dynamic. Every day is different because we're constantly responding to not only an evolving threat landscape and new information that's coming in about our systems, but additional things, new things that the system wants to do. Every AI system that every clinician wants to bring into the hospital to help transform how we are doing business in a clinical setting or in an administrative setting in the back office has to come across our team for a cybersecurity risk assessment. So we are dealing with different vendors, different tools, different people and stakeholders across the organization. The truth is, it's a lot of meetings, a lot of research, a lot of reading, and a lot of people. Because cybersecurity is a people business. We are responding to human threats, human vulnerabilities, and we are trying to sell the importance of cybersecurity to our internal customers, who are the doctors and nurses and revenue cycle teammates who don't have cybersecurity at the top of their list of priorities in their day-to-day job, but it affects them. So we have to communicate with them and persuade them to prioritize the things that we know are making a big difference on the risks to the organization. The human element is even more dynamic than the technology, which is definitely not static. So it keeps us engaged.
So my name's Elvin Gonzalez. I'm a cybersecurity analyst at Tampa General Hospital. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. I don't think anybody really ever does, but I was just pretty much, I didn't jump straight into college just because I was afraid that I'd get stuck doing something I didn't want to do and then wasting time kind of thing. So I worked some pretty, like different jobs, like I did retail, fast food, and then I stumbled across my first IT role. So it was pretty standard IT, help desk, tickets, user password resets, things like that. And I kind of took an interest into, that world, and I was like, okay, this is cool. So I'm like, obviously I don't want to do that specific role forever. I'm like, but I can research what kind of niche I can get into and really, go from there. So I started a program at HCC, and it was for networking. It's called Cisco Networking Academy. It wasn't a degree, but it was it was like a certificate. And I was really into that. I was really into like all the switches and the routers, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I built a home lab. Like I downloaded like virtual machines at home and started trying to hack myself. And given I didn't know how to do all that, but I mean, YouTube's great. You get a lot of labs online, and you can really learn some really cool stuff. So if I had something to say to students, like high school students that are interested in cyber but they don't know exactly if they want to do it, I would say before you go enroll in like a college degree program, I would say do it at home. Like the quickest way to find out if you like something is to do it, and also to keep in mind that cybersecurity isn't just one thing. So if you're really into technology, you're really into security, but you're not real technical, you can do auditing. You can do like IT auditing is like cyber. It's pretty close. You can write policies, and those type of roles fall into the GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, as well. And then if you're super technical and you really like running playing on the command lines on computers and stuff, you're gonna really get to do a lot of that in home labbing too. So I would say a home lab is probably the best way to know if you like it or not.
Yeah, I'm Connor Stapleton. I'm a cybersecurity GRC analyst at Tampa General Hospital. When I realized that cybersecurity was the career for me was in high school. The pressure to pick a major started to come in. And I thought about, what am I passionate about? And since I was a kid, I was always very involved in anything tech, and was able to turn a passion into a career. And I feel really fortunate that I found a job where I love what I do. I love who I work for. I love where I work. It feels nice, you're doing something that matters. You're helping. And I think cybersecurity, it's tough. It's something that should be both a career and a passion, because you need that. You need to be interested in it. It's a ever evolving field, and you need to stay current. You need to always be into it, but you can't let your work overwhelm you either. So there are so many resources online, and I say just get into that. YouTube videos, podcasts, people in the community. There's B-Sides at USF is a great place to go. There's so many things you can get involved in, and that's the biggest tip I could give.
I have no cybersecurity degrees, certifications, or certificates. I came here a different way. I read the NIST pubs. I attended a lot of conferences. I have some phenomenal mentors, and I've done the work, and I've gained experience that way. I did not go the academic route. I wouldn't advise it. It would have made my life easier as a consultant, especially if I had like a CISSP. That's the one that people look for. But my career has progressed through word of mouth. Healthcare is the #1 targeted sector from a cyber attack perspective, because the nature of the data that we deal with, the patient health information that is regulated by HIPAA, but it contains our biometrics, our DNA, our a lot of information that you can't just go and change. If somebody steals your credit card information, you can call the bank and get a new credit card number. If somebody steals your DNA sequence from 23andMe, or they just go and sell it, that information we can't go and change. So it's more valuable on the dark web, and people are more likely to pay the ransoms in healthcare because there's a human connected to the other end of these things. And if you take them offline and it puts somebody's life at risk, then that health system is much more likely to pay the ransom. Any high school student that is looking to have a career in IT and cybersecurity and healthcare, I applaud, and I think that they are going down a tremendously rewarding path. We can do IT and cybersecurity for any number of organizations that don't have the mission of helping save people's lives at the other end of it, and that might not have as much weight or gravity. So we want the best and the brightest to be working in healthcare and solving these issues, because of what we were talking about before with the volume of threats and what is at stake. You have to care to succeed, yes. I think that's probably true in every field, because every field is competitive. Every field that's worthwhile and that pays somewhat decently is going to be competitive. You have to want it, and you have to work for it. Unless you're a singular genius that knows everything already out of the gate, I haven't met many of them.
The cybersecurity field, I do feel like is expanding. Everything is going everything's going to the cloud. Not very much stuff on site these days. So I do think that in the future, I think cloud security is going to be really big. But this is an ever-expanding field, and I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. There's so many criminal organizations that are trying to get their hands on your personal information, and what people don't realize is that your information is worth more than anything. You think it's not until you get the letter saying you've been breached, and they give you a little $100 check. But yeah, I do think that it's growing rapidly, and I don't see it stalling out anytime soon.